population. Okay, so we have here what we call a frequency distribution. So this is one way of describing your data. Okay, putting it into frequency. So frequency distribution is a tabular arrangement of data indicating the different classes or categories and the corresponding frequencies. So there are three basic types of frequency distribution. So we have categorical, ungrouped, and grouped frequency distribution. You might actually have seen this already during our mathematics in the modern world, wherein we have discussed yung actually we're still going to discuss that later, no, yung mean median and I mean the measure of central tendency, rather measure of central tendency and measure of dispersion of group data, wherein we are given their grouped frequency distribution. Yung classes natin is being grouped and then given yung frequency distribution. So today, we'll be having the three types of frequency distribution, which is categorical, ungrouped, and grouped frequency distribution. So categorical frequency distribution is used for data that can be placed in specific categories such as nominal or ordinal level data. So yung categorical frequency, so this is just the types of data, yung measure of tawag ito, uh, level of measurement ng variable natin here is supposedly nominal and ordinal level lang. Okay, yung type of data is just nominal and ordinal level data. For example, such as political affiliation, religious affiliation, or major field studies. So those are just nominal type of data. And then we have here actually an example, no? So 25 army inductees were given a blood test to determine their blood type. The data set is as follows. So of course, kung blood type yan, we have A, B, we have AB, and O. Ayan. So we're going to put this or transform this into a frequency distribution. So this is the ano to? Ang tawag dito? Categorical? Yeah, categorical frequency distribution. So basically, we're just going to group everything else or lahat ng andito na data natin into each group and then of course the frequency. So basically magtatali tayo. So ayan, yung group natin dito is blood type. So we have A, B, O, and AB. So let's try to tally. Okay. So din muna tayo sa A. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So may 5 tayo dito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for B, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll tally here 7. 3, 4, 5. Ano ba yan? Yung 5 pala ay supposedly ano lang, no? So B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then yung O naman is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to tally that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then for A, B naman, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. A total of, meron tayo dito 5. We're going to convert yung tally natin into actual numbers. Ay, yung O pala is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sakto 9, di ba? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 9, and 4. So how many datas do we have all in all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's supposedly 25, no? So 25 datas dapat yung total number of tallies natin. So that's 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 4 is 25. Total of 25. And then nag-add din tayo ng uh, percentage, kung ilang percentage ba yung each type. So 5 is what percent of 25? That is just 20%. Here, this is 20%. 7 is what percent of 25? That's 28. And then 9 is what percent of 25? So that's 36. And then 4 is what percent of 25? That's 16. A total of 16 plus 3, 6 is 100. So yung total percentage natin should be 100. So basically, this is the categorical frequency distribution. So we're putting yung raw data natin, raw data into a frequency distribution. So this is an example of a categorical frequency distribution. So any questions so far about this? Anyone from the class? Am I still audible? Hello?
Sir.
Matian pa ako?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then let's proceed to ungrouped frequency distribution. So an ungrouped frequency distribution is used for numerical data and when the range is small. So the range is just the difference between the highest and the smallest value. So we are just using ungrouped frequency distribution kung yung range natin is small. Okay. So here, as you can see, may mga numbers tayo na nauulit, diba? So we have here an example. The data shown here represent the number of miles per gallon that 30 selected four-wheel drive sports utility vehicle obtained in city driving. So let's construct a frequency distribution. So this is now an ungrouped frequency distribution. So what will be our groups? So of course, yung mga numbers na andito, which is yung 12, 13, 14, 16, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. I think this is in miles, no? Oh, gallon. Gallon to. So tally lang. We're just going to tally. Okay? So how many yung 12 miles dito? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6. Tali tayo ng 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many yung 13? 13 here is, let's count. May 13 ba?
One.
One, sir.
Isa lang, sir.
Second line.
Ayan. So 1 lang. 14. 1, 2,
Three.
3. And then yung 15 naman is 1,
Five.
2, 3, 4, 5.
May dapa sa sir.
1, 2,
Six,
3,
sir.
4,
May dapa sa boss.
5, 6. 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 17, we have 1, 2. 2 lang, no? 18, we have 1, 2. And then 19 naman is isa lang.
May dapa sir sa 18, sir. Second.
Ha?
May dapa,
Oh,
second.
okay. 18 should be 3. Here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So dapat 30. Okay. So this is 6, 1, ay, 3. Sorry. This should be 3. This should be 1. And this one is 3, 6, 8, 2, 3, and 1. So this is how we make an ungroup numerical frequency. So tingnan natin if 30 talaga yung total. So 6 plus 1 plus 3 plus 6 plus 8 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 is actually 30 talaga yung total. So a total of 30, and then of course we will write in frequency yung equivalent of each total. So 6 is what percent of 30? So we just have to divide that. So that is 20%. This is 3%. This is 1%. No, 10% yan. This is 20. 26. 6. May mga decimal pa ngayon, Adi. I think kulang ini. 20 plus 3 plus 10 plus 20 plus 26 plus 6 plus 10, 98.
We're talking about
6. So I think this one right here should be 27. Round off na lang natin yung 26 to 27.
you see here the presentation that is called for here. We're going to proceed on public speaking and then we move on.
Tapos ito is 7%. Rounded off to 7%.
Here, for public speaking.
So total of 100. So this is again an example of an ungrouped numerical frequency. Okay, so let's proceed to group frequency distribution. So when the range of the data is large, the data must be grouped into classes that are more than 1 unit in width. So the construction, to construct a frequency distribution, we follow certain rules. So rule number 1, there should be between 5 and 20 classes. Okay, there should be at least 5, but then at max of 20 classes. And then 2, the class width should be an odd number. This ensures that the midpoint of each class has the same place value as the data. So yung class width should be an odd number. Yung class size. Each class should be an odd number. And then the classes must be mutually exclusive. Now, what does this mean? Mutually exclusive classes have non-overlapping class limits so that the data cannot be placed into two classes. Okay, hindi pwedeng yung isang data can be put into two different classes. Dapat isang class lang talaga mag-fall yung isang data. And then number 4, the classes must be continuous. So there should be no gaps in a frequency distribution. Dapat, like say for instance, 1 to 10, after ng 1 to 10, 11 to 20 din. Kailangan lahat ng data can be put into that class. Kasi pag mag 1 to 10 ka tas yung sunod mong class is to 10, 12 to 21, okay? So hindi na meron tayong number na would not belong on the class, which is yung 11. So dapat continuous lang. And then the fifth is the classes must be exhaustive. There should be enough classes to accommodate all the data, and the classes must be equal in width. Okay, so I think we have already encountered this, and I think if I don't know if I already have given you an activity in this. No, we're in pina-convert ko yung raw data into group frequency distribution, and then given na yung class size. Tapos yung mga class interval natin. So that was during, I think, yung sa mathematics in the modern world. Okay, so why do we construct frequency distribution? So it's to organize the data in a meaningful, intelligible way. So to enable the reader to make comparisons among data sets, to facilitate computational procedures for measures of average and spread, to enable the reader to determine the nature or shape of the distribution, and to enable the researcher to draw charts and graphs for the presentation of data. So that's basically the reason why we make or why we convert data into grouped frequency distribution. So that is yung frequency distribution, or what are the three types of frequency distribution, how do we make one. So this time, this is another descriptive statistics wherein we're describing describing the very center. We're trying to find the center, the middle value of our set of data, which is what we call the measures of central tendency. So this is just a review, no? So measures of central tendency refers to the numerical values which indicate or locate the center of a distribution. So we have two different calculations for different types of data. Diba? We have the ungrouped data and then the group data. So for ungrouped data, magkaiba din yung formula natin, yung way of calculation to group data. So the measure of central tendency are the three most common are the mean, median, and mode. So the mean of a set of data values is the sum of all measurements divided by the number of measurements in the set. So this is also commonly called as the average. So mean is just the average. Okay. So for ungrouped data, we have these formulas. We have mu equals summation of x over big N. So this is the population mean. Ito siya. Population yan, pag mu, population. Pag x bar, sample. Okay, population. Ito naman siya, x bar is sample. Yung pagkakaiba lang nila is, actually, they're actually the same lang dito, no? Yung notation lang yung nagkakaiba. Mu is for population, x bar is for sample. Tapos yung denominator pala, kasi big N is population and small n is sample. But then, these are just the total number of observations or the data that was given to us. So that is mean. Okay. So for instance, here we have, I already have given you this example, no? You can still recall. So this is the following are the income of Mr. John's business in one of his operating weeks. And let's try to find the mean. So from Monday to Sunday, merong income dito si Mr. John, wherein naka-table tayo, no? Each day, nakalagay yung income niya from Monday to Sunday. So Monday is 25,000, Tuesday is 25,000, Wednesday is 10,000, Thursday is 15,000, Friday is 10,000, Saturday is 7, and Sunday is 4,000. So in identifying or if you want to know what's the average income, what's his weekly average income, so what's the mean, diba? All you have to do is add all of these incomes and then divide that by 7 because there are 7 incomes given. So add lang natin lahat ng income niya. So 25,000 plus 20,000 plus 10,000 plus 15 plus 10 plus 7 plus 4,000 divided by 7 gives us 91,000 divided by 7 equals 13,000 pesos. So his average income or the mean income per week of Mr. John is 13,000 pesos. So that's basically it. Ganun lang mean natin. Okay. Let's have the median. The median naman, this is the middle value of a given set of measurements provided that the values are arranged in an array. So the first thing to do is to arrange all items from highest to lowest or lowest to highest, then determine the number of elements. So we actually have a formula in identifying the median or basically median, middle value lang talaga yung hinahanap natin. Regardless of all the values of the data we have. So if ma-arrange natin siya sa ascending or descending order, so pag na-array natin siya, hanapin lang natin yung pinaka-gitna. And then that would be the median. So, yung data natin kanina, in-arrange ko lang siya dito from the lowest to highest income. So, 4,000, 7, 10, 10, 15, 20, and 25,000. So, actually, pwede mo makita dito yung median kaagad, di ba? Since 7 lang naman yung number of data, so yung pinakagitna is this one. Diba? So that's the median. Okay, but then, masyadong marami yung data, then we can just have this x tilde, which is the median. Ito siya, this is the notation for median. So median is equal to n plus 1 over 2, where n is the number of elements. Wherein dito, yung number of elements natin, or yung number of data is 7. So 7 plus 1 is 8 divided by 2 is 4, meaning that the fourth element is our median. So if you go back, yan, yung fourth element is our median, which is 10,000. So yung formula is just identifying the nth term or the nth value is the median. Not the actual median, yung place lang niya, yung kung saan siya nakalagay. Okay? And then of course, we have the mode. The mode, this is the most frequency value in the data set. So this is the simplest measure of central tendency. Why is it called the simplest? Because we don't require any computation at all for the mode. All we have to do is identify which value is the most frequent or anong value yung nauulit ng pinakamaraming beses. So, on the previous example, the income of Mr. John's business, no? So dito yung nauulit lang na value is 10,000, as you can see here. So therefore, 10,000 is our mode. But then, if meron pa tayong extra dito na 25,000, what would be our mode? What would be our mode? If may extra tayo na 25,000. Am I still audible? Hello? Hello, hello, hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, the question is, if may extra pa tayong 25,000 dito, ano yung magiging mode natin? What would be our mode if may extra tayo na 25,000?
Hirang nga dua, sir.
So, 10,000 and 25,000, that's correct. So, what if lahat dito may pares? Meron pa tayong 20,000, may 15 pa ulit, may 4, tas may 7,000. Ano yung magiging mode natin? So, what if ito na yung datas natin, lahat? What would be our mode?
Hira na nga tanan.
Hirang tanan?
Waray na.
Okay, so waray na kita mode, no? There should be no modes. Okay, in a data set, it's possible to have one mode, which is what we call unimodal. Two modes, duha na modes, which is bimodal. Three modes which is trimodal. And then four or more is multimodal. And then of course, it's also possible to have no modes. Okay, pag walang frequent, edi walang mode. So it's possible, no? Hindi naman yan illegal to have no modes. Okay, so those are the three measures of general tendency for ungrouped data. The mean, median, and mode. So of course, kung may ungrouped data tayo, we would also have the computations for group data. So for group data, of course, group frequency distribution siya. So for group data, we have the formula which is x bar equals summation of x multiplied by f times xm all over n, where f here is the frequency, xm is class mark, that's just the average of lower and upper interval, and then n is the total number of frequencies. Okay, so I have here an example. Meron ako ditong group data given the class interval and the frequencies. So let's try to solve for the mean. So may formula na tayo ng mean, which is summation of f times xm all over n. So we have to identify or mag-add tayo ng another column here for xm, di ba? So don't forget to sum up the frequency. So dito sinum up ko na si frequency, which is 8 plus 10 plus 20 plus 10 plus 2 na nag-sum up tayo ng total of 50. And then yung xm, that's just the middle value of our class interval. Okay? So the midpoint of the class interval is just done by getting the average of each class interval. So in this case, yung lowest class interval natin, which is 1 to 10, so that's just 1 plus 10 divided by 2. So 1 plus 10 is 11, divided by 2 is 25, and so on. No? That's how we got the XM, yung 5.5, 15.5, 25.5, 35.5, and 45.5. So what we basically did here is kinuha lang natin yung midpoint ng class interval. That's our class mark. And then, yung formula natin is summation of fxm. So we have to get the product first of f and xm. So multiply muna natin si frequency times class mark. So that's gonna be put in another column. So added here in the table. So 8 times, I think that is 45.5. 45.5, ayan. So it's actually 8 times for 5.5 is 364. Yes, that's correct na. Tapos 10 times 35.5 is 355. 20 times 25.5 is 510. And then 10 times 15.5 is 115. And then 2 times 5.5 is 11. And of course, yung formula natin, yung numerator is summation. So we have to add all of these values. So in-add natin sila lahat. That is 364 times 355, plus 355 plus 510 plus 155 plus 11. That gives us 1,395. Yung ano pa lang yan, that is ito. Numerator. So that is 1,395. That's the summation of f times xm multiplied by 50. Divided by 50. Okay, so 1,395 divided by 50 gives us 27.9. So that's how we got this. Yung mean. Any questions so far? For those who have just
None, sir.
encountered this, say I know most of you here already have encountered this. Okay. So that is the mean of group data. And then let's now proceed to the median. The median for group data. So the formula in calculating the median is this one. So x tailed equals L plus quantity n over 2 minus less than CF all over FM multiplied by I, wherein L here is lower boundary of median class. N is a total number frequency, less than CF is cumulative frequency below median class. FM is the frequency of the median class, and I is the size of the class interval. Lang sila. These are the four components of the formula for the median. So notice niyo today, I think you already know how to identify yung median class. Median class. Median class, makukuha lang natin siya on the number of data that we have. Okay. So here, this is the example that we had earlier. No? So we have to get the median class, since there are 50 na frequency, I mean, total number of frequency. So yung ika-25th na data would fall dito. Diba kasi 8, kahit dito na lang. Mag-start tayo dito sa 2, 10, 20. So andito, si 25, si 25th data, which is 21 to 13. That means 21 to 30 is our median class. So dito natin kukunin si lower boundary, which is just the lower limit of the median class minus 0.5. So 21 dito yung lower limit ng ating median class. So 21, subtract that by 0.5, that would give us 20.5. Okay. So again, no, L is the lower boundary of the median class. So yung median class natin is 21 to 30. Lower limit niya is 21. So to get the lower boundary, lower limit minus 0.5. So 21 minus 0.5 gives us 20.5. This is our L, or the lower boundary. And then cumulative frequency, we actually have two types of cumulative frequency. Ano? We have the less than, or cumulative frequency, and then cumulative frequency below and cumulative frequency above. So dito, yung cumulative frequency natin is actually above, no? So yung cumulative frequency is yung paggawa niya is kakopy natin yung frequency of the lowest class interval, which is in this example 2. Diba? So we have to write 2 as our first cumulative frequency, which is this one. Kinapi lang natin yung frequency of the smallest class interval, and then we add that to the following. Okay? So 2 plus 10 is 12. That's how we got this. 12 plus 20 is 32. 32 plus 10 is 42. 42 plus 8 is 50. Tapos dapat magmamatch yung cumulative frequency of the highest class interval with the total frequency. Yan, nagmamatch sila. So yung kailangan pala natin to solve the median is cumulative frequency below median class. Okay? So cumulative frequency, yung median class natin, if you can still recall, is 21 to 30. That's ganun pa rin yung pagiging basis natin. So 21 to 30, yung cumulative frequency niya is 32. So below that is 12. So literally below. So cumulative frequency below median class is 12. So meron na tayo yung less than CF. And then yung FM, yung frequency of median class is ito lang. Given na yan. That's the frequency of the median class, which is 30. And then I is the size of the class interval. So, kung i-count natin, kung ilang spaces meron per class interval, 1 to 10, may 10 dyan, 11 to 20, there's also 10, and so on. So, lahat ng class interval natin is tig sa 10, di ba? That's one of the rules that was stated earlier. So, dapat lahat ng class sizes natin is magpare-parehas. So, yung class size natin is 10. So, we now have all of the data that we need to solve for our median. So, median, this is the formula, L plus quantity n over 2 minus less than CF over FM times I, where L here is 20.5, N is 50 over 2 minus less than CF na 12 all over FM, which is 20 times I. So, ito na siya. These are now the values. We have substituted na lang. And then, of course, all we have to do here is simplify. So, we work from the inside of the parenthesis of the bracket. Hindi ko alam bakit bracket yung ginamit ko dito. Yeah. So, 20 over 2 is just 25 minus 12, that is 13. Over 20, copy lang yung 20.5 and then yung 10. So, here, 13 over 20 times 10 is 6.5, and then we just add that by 20.5, so we have 27 as our median. So that's how we solve for our median, no? So there's actually just series of steps, but then ano lang, simple math lang naman.
Third question.
Yes?
Sir, paano nagamay doon 20.5 on L?
Okay, so 20.5, that's the L, di ba? L is the lower boundary. Okay, so balik tayo sa slide kanina. Yan. So lower boundary or L, di ba? Lower boundary of the median class. So that's the L. So lower boundary of the median class, of course, we have to identify yung median class. Ano ulit yung median class? That is 21 to 30. Bakit? Because yung total frequency natin is 50. If you divide it by 2, meron tayong 25. Tapos yung 25th data natin, based on the frequency, would fall dito. Diba? Nandyan yung gitna ng frequency natin, which makes 21 to 30 our median class. So yung pagkuha ng lower boundary is just yung lower limit ng ng median class natin, lower limit niya is 21, upper limit is 30. So lower limit lang minus 0.5.
0.5
That's
good
the
na
lower.
talaga, sir.
Yes, oo.
Okay.
Pag upper boundary naman, when we say upper boundary, kung upper boundary kinahanglan, maano liwat kita, upper limit plus 0.5. So 30 plus 0.5. But then, kailangan man natin here is the lower limit. So lower limit of the median class is 21. So minus 0.5, that is 20.5.
Okay, sir, gets. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions so far from the class aside from the question of Mr. Miralles? How about yung iba? Masaya pa ba? Masaya pa ba kayo?
Kaya pa man, sir.
Sige. Let's move on to mode for group data. So yung mode naman natin for group data is this. This is the formula, no? X hat equals L plus quantity FM minus FA all over 2FM minus FA minus FB times I. Okay? So L dito is lower boundary of the model class. FM is frequency of the model class. FA is frequency above model class. FB is frequency below model class. I is the size of the class interval. Now, notice niyo didi, kung earlier, no, solving for the median, we have what we call the median class. So here, differently, what? Modal class. So meaning, the class interval with the highest frequency. Diba, yung mode natin is the number that occurs the most frequent. So here, yung pinakamalaking frequency, that's our model class. Okay. So, ano yung magiging model class natin if this is our data?
21 to 30.
Of course, yes. No, kasi yung frequency niya is 20. So yung pinakamalaking frequency, hala, your call ends in 10 minutes. Okay, so let's wrap this up now. 21 to 30 is our modal class. So para makuha natin yung lower boundary of the modal class, ganun pa rin, no? Lower limit, which is 21 minus 0.5. So that's how we got 20.5. So, okay, this is the modal class, 21 to 30. Modal class. Lower limit niya is 21 minus 0.5. Yung L natin is 20.5. Diba? 21 minus 0.5 is 20.5. FM, frequency of the modal class, 20. This is the modal class, no? FA is frequency above, so literally above. Ano yung nasa taas ng 20? 10. So that's this. FB, literally below. Frequency below modal class is also 10. And then I naman is size of the class interval, so tigti 10, 10 each. So that is why we have 10. So we now have all the values. All we have to do is plug this into our formula. Yan, yung formula natin, x hat equals L plus quantity Fm minus Fa over 2 times Fm minus Fa minus Fb times I. So plug in lang natin lahat ng values that we have. So L is 20.5, Fm is 20 minus Fa na 10 all over 2 Fm, that's just 2 times 20. Di ba yung Fm natin is 20. 20 times 2, 40 minus Fa, which is 10, minus Fb, which also 10, times I, which is also 10. So here, arithmetic na lang tayo, simplify. So 20 minus 10, that's 10. Diba? 40 minus 10 is 30, minus 10 again is 20. So 10 over 20, or that is 1/2. So 1/2 of 10 is 5. So 10 over 20 of 10, 10 over 20 times 10 is 5. So 20.5 plus 5 is 25.5. Yun. Yun lang. Okay. Do you have any questions so far? Masakto lang.
None, sir.
May limit. Kakulop, wala na to limit. Na-notice ko kakulop, wala nag-limit an Gmeet. Kasi nag-physics kami for like almost 2 hours. Tapos yan na adi nag-remind na mama-end na ang Gmeet. Okay na lang nag-start kita dayon. Anyway, next meeting, we'll be having a measure of dispersion and then yung other measures of location, and then kung pwede, kaya pa ng time, we'll have the tawag dito, yung other descriptive statistics that we can use to describe the set of data that we have.
Sir,
Yes?
pwede po kami makaroon ka ng one PowerPoint din eh.
Oo. Wala pa ngayon ako
Sir,
nag-send na
pati
physics pa lang ngayon ako.
kakulop.
Oo, kay...
Physics?
Yes, sir.
Ang physics kay, di ba, nagsurat-surat lang ako. Wala ka mo nag-screenshot? May dagad ako,
sir.
may dagad ako, tawag ito, slide, kaso la, waray had to, mga definition la, na akong example kasi, di ba, ginsusurat ko la. Bangan siguro may nag-screenshot, bayan may mauya to yung nag-screenshot. So, dito na laanay ka mo aro. Nakon kasi example kay Conrad to. Ako laan, as I go along lang ang example. Nay ha? I'm just gonna conduct the attendance kay bayan mag-end dayon. Na-end pa naman it ko ang dayon. Itchimit niya nagsasarit. Hisay ko, no? May 50. Grabe ka damo.